Welcome, everybody. This is Walking Between Shadows. I'm Ben,
I'm Taryn.
and we're glad to have you back for another case. And in fact, this is two cases in one we're going to talk about from the Kingsport, Tennessee area, which is the northeastern fingertip of Tennessee. Before we get started on that, though, we're going to talk about our featured strain for this episode. And this is a unique experience for us. We've really been wanting to try some of Willie's Reserve. And that's right, that's Willie's Reserve. And specifically, we've heard a lot about chicken and waffles and a couple of other strains that are grown under his brand. And typically, we really go mainly to one dispensary here,
That's right.
and that's Elevate in Belton.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just say, Elevate has the greatest customer service. They're knowledgeable. They're very easy to deal with. The products out there where you can see what you're getting. There's no secrets there. It's just really a great place, and we've really done well with them. They always have the stuff that we're looking for and stuff that we need, except this particular time, they didn't have Willie's Reserve.
Right.
And so when we asked them about it, they said, no, it's not something we carry. And we found it at another dispensary in another town close by and went over and got some of the Willie's Reserve chicken and waffles. And there was another strand that we got too.
Yeah, Country Coke.
Country Coke. Okay.
Yeah.
But specifically for this episode, the chicken and waffles, and we had found some, maybe was it post on Reddit that you'd found about it being a really dry product?
Right. I think it was on Reddit. Somebody said something about it was going to be dry.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, when I put it on the tray to grind it up, it did seem very dry.
Yeah, it was clunky.
Right. Rose clunky. Very small buds.
Mm-hmm.
Smelt amazing.
Mm-hmm. Any seeds?
No. Oh, absolutely not. And once I did grind it up, it was not dry whatsoever. And y'all, let me just say, I smoke a lot of weed. I smoke a lot of weed. And I have a hard time getting as high as I've gotten the past couple days on this Willie's Reserve. It definitely lives up to its name. And I recommend it.
So, babe, a little something about that's okay. That's that Willie's Reserve at work. You know, it's clearing those capillaries out and stuff so you can breathe better.
Right.
So I'm okay with that. So about it being dry, like I've encountered that a time or two before, and here's what that seems to be, especially after I looked at this particular strain again. It is just so covered and layered with trichomes that it feels dry.
Right.
You know, when those trichomes turn after, conditioning or after drying and then curing, those trichomes will tend to get hard, and especially when they're stacked like they are on this particular variety. And it makes it feel dry. It's clunky when you pour it out of the container. It feels, rough to the touch. But once you put it through that grinder, that's what you're doing. You're actually breaking through that shell, more or less. It's kind of like an M&M of weed.
Right. Good way to put it.
Yeah. And so you break through that shell and you see that there is actually some moisture in there and some subtlety to the flower itself. Now,
Right.
The other thing I'll say about this is it is just extremely diverse in the terpene profile that comes along with it.
Really.
Yeah. But it doesn't test the highest I've ever seen in terms of THC, but it's one of the better terpene profiles that I've seen. And we've looked at some strains just lately that have specific terpenes that are very high or higher than usual. But this one in general, everything's elevated in it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Chicken and Waffles is an indica dominant hybrid created through crossing jet fuel gelato and dosilato. The strain has a nutty flavor with a sweet vanilla exhale and hints of fresh berries. The aroma is just as delicious, with punches of fresh flowers and earth. Chicken and Waffles provides a perfect lazy day high. I think you can attest to that.
I slept and ate all day long for 2 days.
Right.
Together.
So the after effect leaves consumers completely relaxed and at ease with a super calming effect that washes over you as your body becomes heavy and inevitably couch locked, as the review says.
Well, I was in the chair and I was over there trimming. And I've been doing that the past couple days for you at work. And look, I fall asleep. I've been trying to keep up though.
Well, I could say too that I've slept more than normal recently too, and maybe it's because I got that contact high from Willie's Chicken and Waffles along with you.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's wild. It is amazing how diverse this strain is, but how very good it is. It's a good smoke, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Right on. So if you can look up, Willie's Reserve Chicken and Waffles, if you can get your hands on this, it's a great strain. Again, I think Taryn, you would agree that it's more of an advanced smoke than
Yes.
a beginner. Yeah.
Way advanced.
Be careful because this is coming from the master himself, Willie. So be very careful.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's awesome. So that was our strain for this episode, and we'll get back on to some of that in the next episode. But we're here to talk about a case out of East Tennessee, and again, this is up kind of in the finger in the tri-state area of Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina. It's in Kingsport, Tennessee, and it's been in the news for 6 or 7 months now. And we're going to piggyback another one from that area on this, but it's Layla Santanello, the disappearance of Layla Santanello, and also the disappearance of Hollynn Snapp.
Right.
And this is one of the times when my radar went up as you were teaching me more about this, about sex trafficking and this part of Tennessee being a dangerous place for young girls, especially girls of small stature, and that really can't defend themselves. So that's kind of my opinion just on the front end, so everybody knows that's where my head took me as Taryn was teaching me more about this case. So, Taryn, I'm going to let you take it and explain the case here.
Okay, well, I covered this case on our channel about, what was the end of August, I believe. Layla Santanello case. And I didn't feel like it got a lot of attention, but here recently that Derek Levasseur and Stephanie Harlow picked this up on Crime Weekly. And that's a big deal.
Yeah, why is it such a big deal, though?
They're huge because they're able to get out all the information that needs to be put out there and have the people backing them. I don't know how many followers they have, but I think it's close to 1 million, maybe 500,000. But each of them have their own separate channels along with that too. So they have a huge following.
Yeah, and like what we saw with them, we're going to include some information at the end of this or during this podcast.
Right.
It's really important that those big podcasters pick this up because of the type of help that comes from that exposure.
Yeah, I really do think that this will help them a whole lot. I know that tonight in Kingsport, there is the Christmas parade. And Layla's mother, Jennifer Santanello, and Hollynn Snapp's mother, but they're both going to be at the Kingsport Christmas parade tonight and passing out flyers with each of them in a vehicle that has Hollynn's picture all over the side and Layla's picture all over the side. They're spreading the information in the city, and that's what needs to be done, and it looks like it's starting to get a lot of traction. So,
yeah, and Layla's mom, Jennifer, is all over social media, so look out for Jennifer. And, she'll probably post videos and pictures from that. So everybody that sees this, pick up on that and take a look at what Jennifer posts as well.
Jennifer Santanello, she is really, really pushing this out there for her daughter, Layla, and for Hollynn. They're really putting the story out there. So it makes me feel good. But let's go over the story.
Sure.
So Layla went missing on June the 27th of 2023. So that was 5 months ago. And we need to talk about how she went missing, what happened a couple days before she went missing, so you can kind of understand how she got there. So on June the 23rd, Layla, who was living with her boyfriend, Michael Thompson, and his mother in Kingsport, Tennessee, her and her boyfriend got in a fight that night. They got in an argument, and Layla apparently left his house that night without her shoes, without her wallet, and without her purse. June the 24th, which would have been Saturday, Michael Thompson starts messaging Jennifer via Facebook Messenger on Layla's account. And he says, "This is Michael, and I don't know where Layla's at. You think she may be in jail?" So Jennifer starts, sending the messages back. "What do you mean? Where is she?" He would not respond to any of these messages. So June 25th, Sunday, Jennifer and Layla start messaging each other via Facebook Messenger under Layla's account. Layla said, I've been with some friends. I'm fine. Not in jail. Don't know why Michael said that. And I love you. And Jennifer said, be safe and I love you too. This is the very last time that Jennifer spoke to Layla. Do we know if that was Layla? We don't at this time. Mm-hmm. But Jennifer feels like it was possibly Layla. Monday, June the 26th. Layla is said to be sleeping behind the AmeriCorps Hotel in Kingsport, Tennessee that night.
Yeah, and the AmeriCorps was kind of just a little bit southeast of downtown Kingsport.
Right. Okay. Now, it's said that she got a room at the AmeriCorps. I don't know if she got a room with friends or if she got a room by herself. I do not know those details. Mm-hmm. But as of Monday, June the 26th, she was sleeping behind the AmeriCorps Hotel. On Tuesday, June the 27th, Layla is spotted behind the AmeriCorps Hotel walking without shoes, black leggings, and in a white tank top. And she comes up to this man who is out back behind the AmeriCorps. I don't know if he owned property back there, if he was working. I don't know. Mm-hmm. She asks him for a cigarette. He says, I don't smoke. She thanks him and goes about her way. Mm-hmm. She starts walking towards the Eastone Common Strip Mall in Kingsport, Tennessee, and she arrives at the Marble Slab Creamery at 12 noon. And she's sitting out back underneath an umbrella on the patio, and an employee sees her out there and goes out there and talks to her. Mm-hmm. Now, it's said that I've heard when Derek and Stephanie covered this, they talked that she used someone's phone, this employee's phone, to make a phone call. But I don't. That's the first I've heard of that, so I don't really know. Yeah. But I do know that she told this employee that she was going to go to Five Below, which was in the Eastone Commons Strip Mall, and buy a pair of flip-flops.
Yeah, it was like across the parking lot or something.
Right, just right across the parking lot. And from there, Layla just disappears. Mm-hmm. Just disappears.
Yeah, so the distance from the hotel to the shopping center, which again, this is kind of in the commercial shopping district just off of downtown Kingsport, was only about 1,500 feet.
Right. It was about a, 15-minute walk?
No, not that much. It was just a few minutes.
From the AmeriCorps to the...
From the AmeriCorps to Eastone, yeah, that was a little bit further. So on foot, it probably took her 5 to 10 minutes.
Well, the witnesses that did see Layla on the 27th explained to authorities and to pretty much, anybody that asked them, as far as podcasters and everything, that Layla was very upset that day. So witnesses said that she was upset.
Well, going back to the guy that said she walked up and asked for a cigarette, as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, she was walking around or through kind of a grassy, undeveloped area, and it's my understanding the guy said it looked like she was looking for something in the grass.
Right. She was kind of like swishing the grass with her hands, looking for something.
Yeah, very disheveled, though.
Very. Mm-hmm. She also ran past a woman, and it was like she was trying to hide in the shadows. Mm-hmm. She seemed unlike Layla. Layla had this huge personality, or has this huge personality that, is fearless. Yep. And that was unlike Layla. But since she had been with Michael Thompson, and she'd been living with him for about 9 months, she had changed her friends up, lost a lot of weight, kind of distanced herself from her old life.
Now, was Michael the father of Nova?
No, Michael is not the father of Nova. So Jennifer Santanello, who is Layla's mother, has Nova right now. Mm-hmm. That is Layla's 2-year-old daughter. So Layla is a mother too. Yep. So a couple days after Layla is reported missing, that would have been the 27th that she was reported missing. Mm-hmm. There for a couple weeks, Layla's family, her dad and her mother, Jennifer, were receiving Cash App requests. Mm-hmm. And with each Cash App request, they were asking for money, and there was one that said, there was initials, "They will not let me go." Mm. And, they were asking for money. Jennifer would ask a question and give them $1 for each question. She ended up giving these people about $95 for asking them questions, personal questions that only Layla could answer. But Layla, they wouldn't answer them. So she'd shoot another $1 and ask another question. And, this went on for a while. And I guess it's a good thing it did, because authorities did end up checking into this and finding out that these were friends of Layla's, which would have been Michael Thompson's friends as well.
Yeah.
And that were doing this, trying to extort, Jennifer and Layla's family out of money when they're going through this terrible time. So that's a really shitty thing to do.
Of course.
And it makes me suspicious. So Michael is taken into questioning. And from my understanding, he was given a lie detector test, and he did not pass the test, even though he said he did. It came back inconclusive due to his drug use.
Yeah.
So in order for him to pass a test efficiently, he would have to be completely clean off of drugs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that went down with all him. And he is cleared as far as I know right now. And I'm sure he will be until there's further evidence. So Layla is only 4'10". She is approximately 115 pounds. She has dyed blonde hair with dark roots and big brown eyes. She has tattoos on her. She has one on her collarbone of Roman numerals, and she has Nova Grace's name down her I believe it's her left forearm in the inside. And she also has like some kind of, maybe, I don't know what kind of design, maybe a dragon on her wrist, on her right wrist or left wrist too.
Yeah. So
she does have those tattoos on her. If anyone has any information on Layla Santanello, please contact the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND or the Kingsport Police Department at 423-343-9780. Layla's case was picked up under the Holly-Bobo Act. So that's...
What does that mean? For people that don't know what the Holly-Bobo Act is, what is that?
This extends the search for endangered young adults. So from 18 to 21. Layla turned 21 after she went missing. So Holly-Bobo Act was picked up on her.
So in that act, does that mean that the state just provides more funding for search for a longer period of time?
And Layla has had a couple searches, ground searches around the AmeriCorps and around the Eastone Commons Strip Mall.
Yeah.
Unsuccessful at this time. It costs a lot of money to do that, I know. But, it's just still, there's been private searches too. So,
are there any rewards out on Layla's behalf?
Yes, there is. Okay. There's also a GoFundMe. Then we'll put the link up for that too. But there isn't a reward. And as of, I believe, when Derek Levasseur and Stephanie covered this, I think it was $5,000.
Okay.
For any information on Layla.
Yeah. Well, as everybody knows, the longer this goes on, the less the chances are that she's found. So get this out. Please share this, like it, subscribe to it, hit that notifications bell too, and we'll keep you updated.
Right. Yes, we will.
So the second part of this is something we're going to piggyback onto this episode because it is possibly related.
Could be. Yeah, absolutely could be.
Hollynn Snapp.
And this is the case of Hollynn Snapp.
Yeah, so tell me more about Hollynn Snapp.
So Hollynn Snapp went missing was reported missing October the 15th of 2023. So that was just a couple months after Layla was reported missing. And this was only within it was on the Bell Ridge Drive area of Kingsport, Tennessee.
Yeah, so Bell Ridge Drive is kind of the north residential area of Kingsport.
Right.
And as the crow flies, it was around 4 or 5 miles away from where Layla disappeared.
Very close. Mm-hmm. Very, very close. And come to find out, Layla and Hollynn both ran in the same circle of these friends. Mm-hmm. So that's not good.
No.
Hollynn was also battling some mental health issues, and apparently she was having to go from Chuckey, Tennessee, where she was living with her aunt, to Kingsport, Tennessee to get mental health help.
Yeah.
So she was in a pretty vulnerable time as well. I believe she got kicked out of her aunt's house in Chucky and went to Kingsport maybe for mental health help. And just the last time her family spoke with her was on October the 5th. And after, a couple weeks go by, they realize, this is not like Hollynn at all to not speak with us, every single day. And they hadn't spoke with her like in 10 days. Yeah. So she was reported missing to the Kingsport Sheriff's Department. Hollynn is only 4'8". She is approximately 110 pounds. She has brown hair and hazel eyes. Could easily be mistaken as a child. Mm-hmm. She's tiny.
Yeah, and again, that's what scared me about this when you were, teaching me about it was, the MO of some of the sex trafficking that moves through that area. And I want to say this, another reason it kind of leads me to believe this could be a scenario is Interstate 81 that's near Kingsport is an interstate that goes right up into, the New Jersey, New York area where a lot of sex trafficking ends up. But you're not far from Knoxville and Interstate 75 that goes all the way down to Florida. Again, another high traffic area. And so on the East Coast, they could be anywhere in a matter of hours.
Right.
Because of those roads that are right there. So that's another reason I kind of think that that's a possibility. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing that just really catches my attention and makes me very suspicious is the friends that Layla and Hollynn both were surrounded with. Mm-hmm. Not a good group of people. If they're extorting Jennifer and Layla's family out of, money during this time, mm-hmm. What kind of people are these people? That's awful.
Yeah, Jennifer knew who they were, though, right?
I believe she knew kind of who they were. But like I said, Layla had changed her friend group mm-hmm. within the past, 9 months. Mm-hmm. And, it was very different. Yeah. She went from being around her family and to being completely distanced with Michael.
Have you heard or seen anything that any of those other friends have posted?
Now, I have not really. I've had someone ask me, 'cause it's suspicious to me there was no cameras up at this Eastone Common Strip Mall. At first I'm like, who's paying these people off to not have cameras? And no one. Mm-hmm. We know that sex trafficking is a whole lot more money than theft. Mm-hmm. Of property, theft mm-hmm. of property. Mm-hmm. So that made me kind of question that. And then also, Michael Thompson reporting Layla missing before she was ever even missing mm-hmm. to her family. Yeah, it makes me very suspicious. If she did make a phone call that day at Eastone Common Strip Mall when she was at the Marble Slab Creamery, who did she call? Yeah. I know that questions that have popped up were, where was Layla's phone? It's my understanding that Layla was sharing a phone with Michael Thompson and also sharing a Facebook account with Michael Thompson mm-hmm. at the time that she disappeared. So Michael Thompson would have had the phone when Layla left.
Right.
Because he was getting in touch with Jennifer via Layla's Facebook Messenger on the 25th.
Yeah.
Or the 24th, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just... There's a lot that makes me suspicious, and then I wonder, is there some mad, crazy serial killer that targets young females that are short and are short in build and small?
Yeah. Babe, you mentioned a case that's ongoing in New York that was similar to that too.
Gilgo Beach murders.
Okay, yeah, Gilgo Beach murders. Like this particular person was hunting a specific, kind of the Ted Bundy thing, a specific build and stature. Yeah.
Ted
that's
Bundy,
definitely
right?
The worst case scenario here.
Exactly. That's one of the worst case scenarios, but sex trafficking is scary too. All of it's mm-hmm. scary. Mm-hmm. But those are the four that stand out to me was the serial killer, Michael Thompson, the friends, and sex trafficking.
Yeah.
So,
So I want to remind everybody that, again, we appreciate the view. Hit the like and subscribe button. And we're going to also include the law enforcement links and numbers that Taryn mentioned earlier, as well as the GoFundMe link. So stay tuned for that for a few more seconds. But thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode.
Thank y'all.